15 ways William will honor Diana. And one of them involves a promise he made through a locked bathroom door when he was 14 years old. His mother was crying on the floor. Charles had just stripped her title, and William whispered 4 words she never forgot. You're about to see 15 ways he's already keeping that promise. From constitutional powers he'll have as king, to living memorials growing right now, to the moment Catherine takes the title Queen and Camilla has to surrender it. Those 4 words William said through that bathroom door. What happens when he finally has the power to make them come true? If you've spent 27 years wondering whether Diana would ever get the honor she deserved, this is the video that proves her son never forgot. Diana's story doesn't end in a Paris tunnel. It ends with her son as king. Let's start with the promise he made at 14. Number 1. The promise through a locked door. In 1996, Charles stripped Diana of her Royal Highness. She locked herself in a bathroom and cried. She was 35 years old. Her marriage was destroyed. Her title was gone. And a 14-year-old boy knelt outside that door, slid tissues underneath and said, "Don't worry, Mummy, I will give it back to you one day when I am king." Paul Burrell recorded that moment in his published memoir, A Royal Duty. 4 words. From a boy on his knees outside a bathroom door, spoken to a mother who'd lost everything except her children. That boy is now the Prince of Wales. And here's what most people don't realize. As king, William becomes the fount of honor, the only person in Britain with the constitutional authority to issue letters patent. The same legal instrument used to strip Prince Andrew's titles can be used to restore Diana's HRH, one signature, one piece of parchment, a 30-year-old promise kept. But that promise didn't live only in William's heart. It lived on his hand and on someone else's. Number 2. Diana's ring on Catherine's finger. This is the one that gets me. A 12-carat oval sapphire surrounded by 14 solitaire diamonds, created by Gerard in 1981. Diana chose it herself from a catalog, broke protocol doing it because royals were supposed to commission bespoke pieces. Diana didn't care. She picked the one she wanted. That was Diana through and through. William kept that ring after his mother died. He held on to it through boarding school, through Sandhurst, through deployments, through years of grief when nobody knew if that ring would ever see daylight again. And in November 2010, in Kenya, he placed his mother's ring on Catherine Middleton's finger. Stop and think about what that means. State functions, official photographs, handshakes with world leaders, Christmas broadcasts, coronation rehearsals. Diana is there, on the hand of the future queen, catching the light under chandeliers in the same rooms where Diana herself used to stand, right in front of Camilla, daily. Diana chose that ring. Catherine wears it. Camilla sees it. And Diana didn't leave behind a ring alone. She left behind something that lasts even longer than sapphire. Number 3, Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, born May 2, 2015, 4th in line to the throne. William and Catherine deliberately chose Diana as Charlotte's 3rd name, not Camilla, not Parker Bowles, Diana. Written into the line of succession permanently. When Charlotte is styled Princess Charlotte at a future coronation, a future wedding, a future state event, Diana's name echoes through the centuries. That name will appear in history books for hundreds of years, long after every tabloid headline has turned to dust, long after every cruel nickname and dismissive editorial is forgotten. A little girl carries her grandmother's name into the future, and that name isn't going anywhere. Diana once said she wanted to be the queen of people's hearts. She never got the crown, but her name is woven into the bloodline of each monarch who will follow. And the places that carry her memory, they're not fading, they're growing. Number 4, the statue where she used to walk. William commissioned it himself, unveiled on what would have been Diana's 60th birthday, July 1st, 2021. It stands in the sunken garden at Kensington Palace, the exact garden where Diana used to walk alone in the mornings, before the world woke up and the cameras turned on. Over 4,000 individually planted flowers surround it. Forget-me-nots. Diana's favorite flower. This isn't some forgotten monument in a park nobody visits. This is Kensington Palace, Diana's home, where she read bedtime stories to her boys, where she danced to George Michael barefoot when she thought nobody was watching, where she built a life that the palace tried to erase. Camilla passes that statue whenever she visits Kensington. Diana stands there, permanent, in bronze, surrounded by flowers that bloom for her each spring, and the garden around that statue tells its own story. Number 5, the White Garden. 4,000 flowers that bloom. Every year, I need you to picture this. 6 gardeners, 18 straight weeks of planting, white roses, white lilies, Diana tulips, and forget-me-nots, always forget-me-nots. Over 4,000 flowers in the sunken garden as a permanent living memorial that comes alive each spring with new blossoms opening in Diana's name. Not a plaque, not a headstone, a garden that breathes, that grows, that refuses to stop blooming. Camilla has no garden, no memorial flowers, no 4,000 blooms returning year after year. Diana has a garden that outlives everyone who tried to silence her. That's not a metaphor. That's what happens every April at Kensington. Now, Diana didn't leave behind flowers and bronze alone. She left behind lessons, the kind you can't frame or mount on a wall, the kind a mother teaches a boy by taking his hand and walking him into a world the palace didn't want him to see. And here's something that'll stop you cold. One of the charities Diana championed ended up saving the very people who took everything from her. That's coming. But first, number 6, center point, Diana's lesson. Became a king's mission. Picture a 10-year-old boy walking into a homeless shelter for the first time. His mother is beside him. She's not giving a speech. She's not there for the cameras. She's showing her child what life looks like outside palace walls, what hunger looks like, what sleeping on concrete feels like. That boy never forgot what he saw that day. William became Centrepoint's patron in 2005. He slept rough on freezing London streets for the charity, on the pavement, in the cold, to understand what homeless people endure each night. And now he's launched Homewards, using the Duchy of Cornwall's resources to fight homelessness as a national priority. Diana showed her 10-year-old son what poverty looked like, what it smelled like, what it felt like to have nowhere to sleep. That boy grew up to make it the central cause of his monarchy, her lesson, his mission, her compassion, still working 3 decades later. Poverty wasn't the only thing Diana opened his eyes to. Number 7, Heads Together. Diana's mental health revolution continued. Diana broke the mental health taboo when nobody else would touch it. She visited AIDS patients when the world believed you could catch it from a handshake. She held hands with the stigmatized. She sat on hospital beds and talked to the dying. She spoke openly about her own battles with bulimia and depression. Knowing the palace would punish her for every word, the establishment told her to stop, be quiet, behave, stay in your lane. She refused. William launched Heads Together with Catherine and credited Diana directly as the inspiration. Then he did something Diana never got the chance to do. He spoke publicly about his own grief, his own mental health struggles, called it the hardest year of my life. The silence Diana cracked open. William shattered completely. They told her she was being dramatic. Turns out she was being decades ahead of everyone. We're getting closer to the one I told you about, the charity that saved Diana's own family. But this next one proves Diana isn't only remembered in statues and gardens. She's still creating leaders, right now, today, as you're watching this. Number 8, the Diana Award. Her name on the future. This isn't a memorial plaque gathering dust in some hallway. The Diana Award is a living, active, growing institution that recognizes young people who create real social change. Nominations for 2026 opened in October 2025. Thousands of young people around the world carry Diana's name on their CV, on their wall, in their life story. Diana isn't a memory. She is actively shaping the next generation of changemakers from beyond the grave. She wanted to make a difference in the world. 3 decades after her death, she's still making one, every single year, now. This is the one I've been building toward, the charity that saved Diana's own family. Here it is. Number 9, Royal Marsden Hospital, Diana's charity that saved her family. Diana was patron of the Royal Marsden Hospital, one of the world's leading cancer treatment centers. She walked through those wards herself. She sat beside patients nobody else would visit. She championed that hospital when the cameras weren't rolling. William took over her patronage and continued the work she started. Then 2024 happened. Catherine was diagnosed with cancer. Charles was diagnosed with cancer. The hospital Diana championed, the wards she walked through, the research she helped fund, the facilities she fought to support, were there to treat the people she loved most in the world. I had to read that 3 times when I found it. Diana's legacy didn't just endure, it literally saved her own family. The woman they stripped of her title built something that saved their lives. The charity they dismissed as royal sentiment turned out to be the institution that kept them alive. Let that land for a second. They took her title. She saved their lives, and she did it from beyond the grave. That's not revenge. That's love. The kind of love that builds hospitals and funds research and doesn't stop working because the person who started it is gone. The kind of love a mother leaves behind when she knows she won't always be there. Diana spent her final years building things that mattered, things that lasted, things nobody could strip away with a piece of paper. And the institution she belonged to? William's reshaping the whole thing in her image. What you're about to see in the next 5 items isn't a list. It's Diana's complete blueprint for the monarchy. And her son is building every piece of it. Number 10, the radical departure. Diana's dream monarchy. William told insiders he wants actual projects, not ribbon-cutting patronages that look good in photographs and change nothing. Sources call it a radical departure from the ceremonial model. Diana wanted the monarchy to serve people, not wave from balconies, not cut ribbons and shake hands. She wanted the institution to actually do something. They ridiculed her for it, called her naive, called her unstable, called her every name except what she truly was. Right. 27 years later, her eldest son is building exactly the monarchy she imagined. The vision they mocked is now the blueprint. The woman they tried to silence turned out to be the one with the plan all along. Diana didn't just want the institution to change, she wanted the family to change. And that starts with how you raise children. Number 11, hands-on parenting. Diana's revolution lives in her grandchildren. This is the part that makes me emotional. Diana insisted on taking William and Harry to school herself. She took them to McDonald's, to amusement parks, to homeless shelters. She let them get dirty. She let them be loud. The palace was horrified. A princess doesn't do school runs. A princess doesn't queue for burgers with her boys. Diana didn't care. She wanted her sons to know what normal felt like. Children first, royals second, because she knew what it cost to grow up without that freedom. William and Catherine do exactly the same. School runs, sports days, birthday parties. George, Charlotte, and Louis are growing up the way Diana fought for her sons to grow up. As children first, royals second. The parenting revolution the palace tried to kill is now the standard. Diana's standard. And if you think that's powerful, wait until number 15, because what's coming makes all of this feel like the opening chapter of a much bigger story. Diana reshaped the family. She reshaped the mission. And now William is stripping away the very protocols she spent her whole life fighting against. Number 12, stripping the formality Diana couldn't stand. William has dispensed with Lord Lieutenants accompanying royals on official visits. They're reportedly unhappy about it. William doesn't care. He plans to trim his own coronation even further than Charles's already shortened ceremony. Accessible and approachable. Those were Diana's exact words about what she wanted the monarchy to become. Each layer of formality William strips away brings the institution closer to his mother's vision. Each outdated protocol he discards is a protocol Diana despised. They told her she was damaging the monarchy. Her son is proving she was saving it. Can you imagine how that would make her feel? Knowing that the boy who slid tissues under a door is now tearing down the walls she couldn't break? And Diana's physical legacy? It isn't shrinking, it's getting a renovation. Number 13. Diana's Playground. 1 million visitors a year. The Diana Memorial Playground, built 25 years ago. Over 1 million visitors every year. More than most royal residences attract. And now it's being expanded with a £3 million renewal by the Royal Parks Charity. Reopening summer 2026. Bigger, better, renewed for a new generation. While Camilla's legacy has yet to be built, Diana's is getting a multi-million-pound renovation. A new generation of children who will never know Camilla's name will play in Diana's playground. Each day, 1 million of them a year. Diana once took her own boys to play in public parks when the palace said it wasn't proper. Now children she never met play in hers, rain or shine. I know that sounds like a small thing compared to hospitals and charities, but stay with me, because what Diana planted in her sons didn't stay small. It went global. Number 14. Earthshot Prize. Diana's seed became a forest. Diana cared deeply about the natural world. She spoke about conservation when conservation wasn't a headline. She passed that concern to her sons quietly, through the walks she took with them through the countryside. William took that quiet seed and created the Earthshot Prize, £50 million over 10 years, the biggest environmental prize in history, 5 £1 million prizes each year for a decade, global partnerships, worldwide broadcast. Diana's quiet concern became her son's loudest statement to the world. She planted a single seed. He grew an entire forest. No, he grew a movement, with her name running through every root. And now, the last one. The one that closes Diana's story once and for all. The one I've been holding back since the very beginning of this video. Number 15. Catherine becomes the queen. Diana wins. Forever. When William is proclaimed king, Catherine becomes the queen. She'll carry Diana's ring on her finger, Diana's grandchildren at her side, Diana's values woven through her work, Diana's charities in her portfolio, Diana's parenting philosophy alive in her home, Diana's warmth and honesty in every public appearance. And Camilla, the woman who broke Diana's marriage, who took Diana's husband, who wore Diana's jewels, who sat in Diana's place for over 20 years, must surrender the title Queen to the woman who carries everything Diana was. Catherine doesn't replace Camilla, she completes Diana's story. The story that was supposed to end in tragedy ends in triumph. And the HRH title stripped from Diana in 1996, the boy who slid tissues under a bathroom door now holds the constitutional power to restore it. One document, one signature, HRH, a promise made at 14, kept by a king. Diana wins, not because she fought, because she raised a son who would fight for her. 15 ways, a statue where she used to walk, a playground where 1 million children play each year, a ring that catches the light at every state function, a granddaughter who carries her name into the future, charities that continue her work, values that shape a king's reign, and one day, maybe soon, a document signed by her son, restoring 4 letters to a woman who has been gone for almost 30 years. Don't worry, Mummy, I will give it back to you one day when I am king. He will, because he's Diana's son, and Diana's sons keep their promises. But Diana's victory isn't just what William gives back, it's what Camilla stands to lose. Click here to see 20 things Camilla will lose when King Charles dies. Because if even half of what's coming is true, the reckoning has already started.